Time to cover the November core update. So it started rolling out about a week ago. I think it was November 14th. It started rolling out, and I really haven't heard much about people reporting on what they think is going on. So I'm going to show you what I kind of know is going on, and I hinted at this back in the August core update, where we saw the same thing happening just at a smaller scale. Now what I see from the November update is them expanding what they did in August. If you look at Google, they are a monopoly, right? They hold a complete stranglehold on the search industry, but we see AI starting to creep in, right? Search GPT starting to creep in. The landscape is starting to change, and I think Google knows they need to make a move. Over the last few years, it's been all Google just showing high authority sites for major search terms, and that's kind of been the base. What I've seen, and I pointed this out in August, was they're slowly starting to move away from that. So if you go back and watch the August core update, you'll see like certain terms, we started seeing some companies starting to creep in for really competitive terms. Whereas before, it was all high authority sites, like these leech sites or these parasite SEO sites, whatever you want to call them, the money.coms and the Forbes and all those huge sites just dominated the search engines. With the August core update, we saw some brands starting to creep in there for some big terms. Now, we're starting to see a little more creep in. The reason they do it like this is because they're not going to make a major change across the board right away, being such the dominant people in the search industry, right? They're just not going to do that. It doesn't make sense. But likely, they're seeing a positive reaction from what they did in August, so they're expanding on it now in November. So one of the niches that I'm heavy in, I think I covered this in the August core update video that I did, is the gold IRA niche. Right? I've done millions of dollars in commissions and tens of millions of dollars in sales in that gold industry, so I know it very well. So I'm just going to use that as an example. But keep in mind, this is happening across many different niches. They're starting to cut down on parasite SEO, where you're using these high authority sites to rank, and they're starting to let smaller brand sites in, sites with smaller authority. So I'm going to give you an example here of a big search term, right? This term has made me a lot of money. I've ranked for this before, and I've ranked in Bing too. I've bid on it with pay-per-click. This is a huge term. Now, before August, there was 0 companies on the first page for this term. None at all. 0. I think when August hit, we started seeing like one company on the bottom of page 1, which might have been Noble Gold Investments, which you see at number 1 now. Now, if we look when it comes to November, you're going to see a company at number 1, which is Noble Gold Investments, right? That's a brand, a company, only 2,000 referring domains. Before, you were seeing 100,000 plus referring domains on the first page. Before the August core update, there was no companies. There might have been a company or two on page 2, and that was it. If we scroll down, oops, let me go here. Let me scroll down. We can see number 2 is still an authority site, right? We got Investopedia, huge site, 580,000. Same story. We've seen a lot of that. Business Insider, 890,000. Again, they're throwing in these sites that are really high authority. But number 4, we have another brand. Okay, another brand at number 4 with only 1,800 referring domains. So now there's 2 company in the top 4 results, whereas before August there was 0 on the first page, maybe a 1 or 2 on the top 2 pages. So let's go to number 5. We got CNBC, again another big authority site. Then we got number 6. Gold Star Trust, which is a company that I believe they're like a custodian, and they only have 540, right? So lower authority. We got Trust ETC, same thing. They're like a custodian, 2,400, lower authority. Texas Tribune, that's more like a parasite SEO type site. And then finally, we actually have an affiliate site here, goldiraguide.org, 1,400. And then you got Morningstar, which is more of a parasite SEO site. So what we saw was in the August core update, before August core update, 0 sites on page 1 for a term like Gold IRA Company. August core update hits, you got like 1 on the first page. And I pointed this out. I said, look, it seems like Google is starting to move more towards allowing smaller sites, brands, even some niche affiliate sites to appear on the first page slowly. And usually what they'll do is the more long tail keywords, right? They'll start with long tail keywords, they'll do less sites, then they'll gradually pick it up a little bit. This time we're seeing, okay, a little shorter keywords, a little bigger keywords, a little more sites. They're slowly shifting that way. And this is great news for a lot of people in SEO who've been trying to compete with these high authority bastard parasite sites that just dominated everything. Now it gives SEOs more of a chance now, especially the beginner to intermediate level who had no chance before, right? Some of us guys who've been doing this a long time could compete still by taking advantage of PBN networks and high authority sites and things like that. But a lot of the smaller guys just had no chance, especially when it came to terms like this. So this is really good to see. I think this is great news, and it seems Google's shifting more in this direction. When I've seen this in the past, they would do what happened in August, and then they would pull back again. They would do what happened in August, and they would pull back again, right? They would keep putting these high authority sites up there, let some small authority sites on there, then pull them off. Now, this is like a breakthrough. They've like broken through a resistance kind of level here, you could say, where they're allowing so many more sites that are low authority on page one for bigger terms. And this is a great sign that they're moving more in this direction. I think they're doing this because they got positive feedback out of the August core update, and they know that the search landscape is changing, right? We got AI coming to town. People aren't just looking for all results of the whole first page being high authority sites where they're all kind of saying the same thing. They want smaller sites and they want different results. What you see right here on the first page is a mix of both, which I think is pretty smart because then they can really gauge more off that. Are people going more to the brands and the smaller sites and getting more out of them, or are they going to these large authoritative sites and getting their information there? They can now get that data and they can decide what they want to do in the next core update. So I think that's a big thing that this core update is moving more towards, is just allowing lower authority back on page one again. Great news for the SEO community, for a bulk of the SEO community. So I believe they'll continue moving in this direction. We'll see what happens in the next core update. But if you go do search terms, you're going to notice more smaller sites appearing on page one. And you'll notice a lot of EMD style sites starting to appear again on page one. And the reason for that, you can find in my SEO fundamentals course over at gregmorsonmedia.com. Just put it together, got my product portal, put all the products I'm doing in there. If you're interested, go check it out. I'm not going to promote it, but it's just there for the people that want it. But EMDs, again, are starting to make a comeback because keyword and domain, as I teach in that course, is extremely important for many different reasons. And it's the biggest on-page factor you can possibly have. Increases in power as you get more links, and all that's explained why in that fundamentals course. All right, so that's what I believe is going on with the core update. Of course, look, these updates always have multiple things happening, but I think this is the big picture. Like, people try to point out, like, well, they're focusing on schema and your author, and okay, that's little stuff, right? We're looking at the big picture. We want to see the big picture of where Google's moving, and this seems to be it. All right, so if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.